Welcome to a magical journey of wisdom and wonder. Tonight, we bring you 63 timeless bedtime stories, inspired by the legendary fables of Kalila and Dimna. These tales are more than just stories. They're treasures of wisdom, full of life lessons, clever animals, and enchanting adventures that will spark your imagination. So, get comfortable, close your eyes, and let these ancient whispers guide you to a world where every story holds a secret, and every secret brings you closer to dreams. Stay with us until the very last tale, because each one carries a spark of magic you won't want to miss. Moral: the world often reflects the voice we give it. Prologue. The Forest Before the Whisper. Before the time of councils and kings, the forest was a breath. Trees inhaled light and exhaled shade. Rivers meandered like lazy thoughts. The stars blinked their stories into the sky, and the moon made silver paths on mossy earth. The animals did not speak then, not with voices. They listened to the silence, and the silence in turn taught them peace. But as the forest grew, so did its stories, and in time those stories were spoken aloud. This tale is one such story, a story of fear and friendship, of truth cloaked in parables, and of how a turtle saved the forest by saying very little and listening very much. Chapter 1. The Great Council. In the heart of the forest stood the Tree of Gathering, older than any creature could remember. Its bark was etched with symbols, its roots curved into chairs, and its leaves sang the news of the wind. King Leo, the golden-maned lion, ruled not just with strength, but with storms in his heart. He had known peace, but feared its absence more than he feared war. By his side were two voices. One, loud and eager, Dabba the jackal, who always bowed but never bent, and one, quiet and calm, Rana the turtle, who never interrupted yet never failed to be heard. The forest was uneasy. The rains delayed their arrival, fruits refused to sweeten, and the birds flew in crooked patterns. King Leo stood beneath the Tree of Gathering, annoyed. The forest shifts. There is betrayal in the roots. Speak now, who brings poison to our soil? Dabba stepped forward, his eyes glistening with false tears. Sad, my king, my fur bristles with sorrow, but Rana, the turtle, she has wandered. She whispers of change to the creatures, rebellion perhaps. The council gasped. Even the wind paused. Rana only bowed, calm. A whisper is not always a wound, my king. But Leo's eyes had already turned dark. Chapter 2. A Night Beneath the Stars. That night, Rana walked alone to the meadow of stillness. She watched the stars blink slowly into existence. Fireflies danced like thoughts too shy to speak. She whispered to the moon, "Let truth take root, even if it blooms in silence." A young owl named Noor landed beside her. Curious, "They say you are plotting, turtle." Thoughtful, "I am," Rana said. Calm, "Plotting peace." Noor tilted her head. Surprised, "Will you tell a story?" Rana smiled, happy, "Always." Tale 1. The Monkey and the Mangoes. Long ago, Rana began, a monkey named Banu lived in a mango tree beside a river. Each day he dropped ripe fruit to the crocodile below. They laughed, they spoke, they dreamed together. But the crocodile's wife grew envious. "You care for him more than for me," she hissed. Annoyed, "Bring me his heart." So the crocodile invited Banu to ride upon his back. Midway through the river, he revealed the plot. Banu chuckled. "Had I known, I'd have brought my heart. I left it in the tree." The crocodile turned back, and Banu leapt to safety. But their laughter never echoed again. Chapter 3. Daba's Web. Meanwhile, Daba moved like shadow among the creatures. To the deer he said, "The owl favors the turtle. She plans to crown her." To the foxes, "The turtle wishes to slow all progress. You will eat roots before the year ends." His voice was honey, but his words were thorns. And yet, some began to doubt. The birds who had heard Rana's stories began to speak of them to others. "Thoughtful. She never says names," said a dove. "Thoughtful, but her stories make me see things more clearly," said a squirrel. "The second times beyond this truth here a comment." She took it the Banu that have flesh to sty about the year. "The studio has broads all the musks. He stay with a small assist. A falcon who flew too high. There once was a falcon who soared higher than all," Rana said one evening to a circle of rabbits and mice. He laughed at the pigeons, mocked the ducks, and ignored the warnings of wind and cloud. Excited, "Higher!" he cried. "Faster!" he roared. The sun welcomed him with open arms and burned his feathers. He fell, and when he called for help, none heard him. He had flown alone, and so he fell alone. Chapter 4. The Fog of Fear. A thick fog settled on the forest one week. Not weather, but worry. None trusted another. The tree of gathering stood quiet. King Leo paced, thoughtful. What is true? What is trick? He called for Rana, stern. "You speak little, speak now." But Rana only said, "Would you rather the truth in tale or lie in loyalty?" He frowned, thoughtful. "A tale, but it must be yours." Tale 3. The Blind Goat and the Snake. A blind goat grazed in a field, Rana said. Each day, a snake whispered, "The lambs mock you, the birds pity you, trust none." So the goat stopped moving. She starved slowly, in fear. One day, a lamb brought grass. "The snake said you would poison me," said the goat. The lamb only smiled, then stayed. The goat grazed again. The snake left, hungry for someone else to frighten. Chapter 5. The King in the Shadows. That night, King Leo disguised himself in a cloak of vines. He crept through the forest alone, listening. He found Rana by the moonlit pond, speaking to a frog. "And so the fox who lied found himself alone," she said. Leo stepped forward. "You speak in parables." She smiled. "Because the heart hears better in story." He sat beside her. "Then speak again." Tale 4. The Elephant and the Pebble. An elephant once had a pebble in her foot. She limped, but refused help. "The ant cannot aid me," she scoffed. But the ant said, "Let me try." With careful bites, the ant removed the pebble. The elephant wept. "I could crush you." "Yes," said the ant, "but I chose to help instead." Strength is not in the foot, but in the choice. Chapter 6. Truth Blossoms. King Leo summoned the council. This time he invited every creature, great and small. He stood beneath the tree. "I have heard stories, and in them I have seen faces." He turned to Daba. "Your words are many, but they bloom no flowers, only thorns." Daba trembled. "My king, Leo raised a paw. "Let silence answer." And silence fell. Daba was exiled, not with anger, but with sorrow. Chapter 7. A Forest in Harmony. The rains returned, soft and warm. The fruit sweetened. The birds flew in joyful chaos. The tree of gathering echoed with laughter again. And Rana? She still told stories, but now others told them too. Nur the owl, the young deer, even the once silent snake listened from afar. Tale 5. The Seed and the Boulder. One day, said Rana, a seed fell beside a boulder. "You'll never grow," said Epilogue, Night Whispers. Now when the forest sleeps, the wind still carries whispers, not of deceit, but of stories. If you lie very still, if your heart is quiet and your breath is slow, you might hear the frog repeating the story of the goat, or the owl retelling the tale of the falcon, or perhaps the trees themselves telling the story of a turtle who saved a kingdom, not with teeth nor claws nor roars, but with tales. Prologue. The Ancient Hollow. In the oldest part of the forest, where the roots whisper secrets and leaves applaud the wind, there exists a hollow, a meeting place for creatures of all kinds. It is said that those who enter it with a story leave with understanding, and those who enter with pride leave with a lesson. And so, this collection begins not with a roar, but with a rustle. Tale 6. The Parrot and the Panther. In a high canopy, a parrot named Zeal mimicked the voices of all creatures. He could imitate the growl of a leopard or the hiss of a serpent. The forest laughed with him, until the day a panther arrived. Panthera, silent and sleek, stalked near the watering hole. Zeal shouted in her voice, "Run, for I hunt tonight!" The creatures fled, but Panthera, who had come only to drink, was enraged. She confronted Zeal. "Why do you wear my voice as a mask?" Zeal replied, confident, "Because it is powerful," thoughtful. "But it is not yours," Panthera said, "and power borrowed is power brittle." From that day, Zeal spoke in his own song, less terrifying, more true. Moral: imitation may echo strength, but truth carries it. Tale 7. The Sparrow's Trade. A sparrow and a hawk both wished to cross the desert. The hawk flew high and fast, confident in his wings. The sparrow flew low, stopping often. Halfway through, the hawk collapsed in thirst. The sparrow, with her careful stops, reached the oasis. She shared her water with the hawk, thoughtful. Speed wins races, but wisdom finishes them. Moral: caution may outlast confidence. Tale 8. The Snake and the Millipede. A snake slithered in envy of the millipede's many legs. Curious, "How do you walk so surely?" he asked. The millipede replied calmly, "I do not think, I trust." The snake, curious, tried to slither while thinking of each movement. He tangled himself. Sometimes overthinking strangles even the smoothest path. Moral: trust in your nature. Thought without trust leads to confusion. Tale 9. The Frog Who Sang to the Stars. A frog named Luma sang every night to the stars. The fireflies mocked her, mocking, "They don't hear you." But she sang anyway. One night, the stars twinkled a little brighter. The fireflies noticed, and Luma said, softly, "Even if they do not answer, I will sing." Tale 11. The Peacock and the Wind. The peacock danced for the wind, his feathers fanned in pride. Proudly, "Do you admire me?" he asked. The wind replied calmly, "You are lovely, but I blow for the roots, not the feathers." Moral: true power often praises the unseen. Tale 12. The Fox Who Counted Chickens. A clever fox boasted boastfully, "I can predict every egg that will hatch." He waited near a coop, counting each egg and whispering future meals. But a farmer heard and gave the eggs to a distant village. The fox waited in vain. Moral: counting before the hatching may feed hope, but not the belly. Tale 13. The Pine and the Willow. During a storm, the tall pine stood firm and proud. The willow bowed and swayed. When the winds grew wild, the pine snapped. The willow remained. Moral: flexibility survives where rigidity breaks. Tale 14. The Crows' Parliament. The crows held a grand debate on who should lead. Each argued loudly. An old, silent crow watched, then dropped a seed into the soil and flew off. Seasons passed. The tree that grew fed more crows than any argument. Moral: action often feeds more than opinion. Tale 15. The Lantern and the Moth. A lantern warned a moth, warning, "My flame is not for touch." The moth said admiringly, "But you shine so beautifully." She danced closer until the heat singed her wings. Falling, she whispered, "Even beauty burns." Moral: admiration must not blind us to danger. Epilogue: return to the hollow. The animals of the forest, having heard these tales, sat quietly beneath the stars. Some nodded, some questioned, some simply breathed deeper. The wind passed through the hollow again, and the stories, now rooted, grew like vines around the minds of those who listened. Tale 16. The Camel's Shadow. In a desert clearing, a young camel named Malif argued with his owner about rest. "The sun is harsh," said the camel. "Let us stop here." The merchant replied, "Only when your shadow disappears may you rest." Malif began watching his shadow instead of the road. At dawn, it stretched long. At noon, it hid. At dusk, it danced again. One day, while focused only on his shadow, Malif stepped into a thorny ravine. His master pulled him out, shaking his head. "Your path is forward, not behind or below." Moral: obsession with signs may blind us to substance. Is Tale 17, The Badger and the Echo. A badger named Talon once lived at the edge of Echo Rock. Every insult he threw bounced back to him. "You are lazy," he shouted at a squirrel. "You are lazy," the echo returned. Talon grew angry. "That squirrel mocks me," the fox laughed. "That is not the squirrel, but your own voice," returned. Talon sat in silence for a long time, then whispered to the rock, "You are kind." And the voice returned, "You are kind." Moral: the world often reflects what we send into it. Tale 18, The Otter and the Moonfish. By the silver waters of Moon Lake, an otter named Silu grew obsessed with catching the mythical moonfish, said to glow like starlight and grant dreams. Each night, she swam in search of its shimmer. She ignored minnows, skipped sleep, and missed the stories her clan told by firelight. One winter, she glimpsed a glow. Her heart raced, but it was only the moon reflected on ice. Saddened, she returned to shore, where her grandmother waited. "The moonfish is real," said the elder. "But not all treasure swims. Some sit beside you, telling stories you missed." Moral: in chasing illusions, we often lose what's already shining near us. Tale 19. The Cricket's Court. In the thickest brush, the crickets held court each new moon. Their leader, King Chirruk, ruled by song. But one year, a beetle mocked their music. "Ha! Your notes are nothing but noise," he scoffed. Hurt, the crickets fell silent. The forest grew strangely still. Without their rhythm, the ants lost step, the vines overgrew paths, and the owls misjudged their hunts. King Chirruk finally sang again, hesitant and soft. The rhythm returned, the world aligned, the beetle blinked in awe. Perhaps even small songs hold great purpose. Moral: dismissing the small may unbalance. Tale 20. The Lynx and the Broken Fang. A proud lynx named Maru lost a fang in a fight. Ashamed, he hid from the others. A hunter without his weapon is nothing, but hunger drove him out. He hunted rabbits, not with bite, but with patience, setting traps with his claws and planning ambushes. He became more feared than before. One day, a young fox asked, "How did you learn such cleverness?" Maru smiled, "From losing what I thought I needed most." Moral: a weakness may teach you greater strength. Tale 21. The Whale and the Island. In a quiet corner of the ocean, a great whale named Solon carried an island of moss and birds upon her back. She had swum so long with it that she forgot what it was like to dive deep. The birds built nests, the moss thickened, and the island became heavy. One day, a storm brewed, and the island shook. "We must go deeper," said Solon. "No!" cried the birds. "If you dive, we drown." Torn between duty to herself and loyalty to those above, Solon remained near the surface. But the waves battered her, and the moss began to rot. One tiny bird whispered, "If you sink, we all sink." With a deep breath, Solon dove. The island washed away, but she rose again, stronger, and the sea cleaner. And the birds? They followed her, learning to float, to fly, to rest, but never to bind. Moral: carrying others must not come at the cost of your own depth. Tale 22. The Beetle Who Drew Maps. A beetle named Ortu dreamed of seeing the world, but he was too small to travel far. So he listened to the birds who flew, to the foxes who ran, to the ants who tunneled. Every story he scribbled into the bark of trees. Generations later, the beetle's carvings became the forest's first map. Lost creatures found paths, hunters found peace. Even the owl consulted his tree. One young pup asked, "Did the beetle really see all this?" The owl replied, "He saw more than most who walked it." Moral: listening can take you farther than wandering. Tale 23. The Goat and the Garden Gate. A goat named Marn was confined to a garden surrounded by a wooden fence. Each day, he stared through the slats at a lush valley beyond. "If only I could pass the gate," he sighed. Tale 24. The Swans and the Mirror Lake. Two swans lived on Mirror Lake. One was obsessed with her reflection, the other with the sky above. The first groomed endlessly. "Perfection is beauty," she said. The second said, "Flight is beauty." When drought struck, the lake dried. The vain swan lost her mirror. She fell into sadness. But the sky watcher had practiced flying. She lifted her friend and carried her to a new lake. Moral: beauty fades, but wings that carry others last. Tale 25. The Mouse and the Mountain. A mouse named Kilu dreamed of climbing the tallest mountain in the land. The bears laughed. "Your steps are too small." The eagles mocked, "You belong below." But Kilu climbed. Each day, a few inches more. He made friends along the way. Ants who showed him tunnels, rabbits who shared shade, and frogs who taught him to leap. Years passed. Kilu reached the top. He looked down, not with pride, but with thanks. Moral: a summit reached with help is worth more than one claimed alone. Tale 26. The Fox and the Starry Night. Under a sky spattered with stars, a clever fox named Rena watched the constellations. She wished she could catch one, believing it would grant her endless cunning. Rena chased the falling lights, but they always slipped beyond her grasp. One evening, an old tortoise told her, "The stars don't fall to be caught. They shine so you can find your own path." Rena looked up anew and found her steps guided not by stars caught, but by stars admired. Moral: guidance comes from inspiration, not possession. Tale 27. The Hedgehog's Gift. A shy hedgehog named Lumo wanted to help his forest friends, but feared his prickly quills. One day, a fierce storm blew leaves into a pond, trapping young ducklings. Lumo used his spines as a bridge for the ducklings to cross safely. The animals cheered, realizing that what they feared could become their salvation. Moral: what makes you different can make you indispensable. Tale 28. The Crane and the Broken Wing. A graceful crane named Isha injured her wing and could no longer soar. She felt useless until a wounded rabbit sought her company. Isha's gentle songs comforted the rabbit during recovery. When Isha healed, she learned that healing others was a gift beyond flight. Moral: strength is not only in what you do, but in how you support others. Tale 29. The Ants' Festival. Every year, ants gathered to celebrate the harvest. One ant named Tilo wanted to join, but felt too small to contribute. He found a tiny seedling and carried it, inspiring others. Together, their small efforts built a festival remembered by all. Moral: every small contribution is vital to the greater whole. Tale 30, The Owl's Secret. The wise owl, Farah, was asked how she knew so much. She replied, "I listen more than I speak and watch more than I act." One night, when the forest was silent, she heard the softest whisper that saved a lost fawn. Moral: wisdom grows in silence and attention. Tale 31, The Lizard and the Lightning. A desert lizard named Jaru admired the speed of lightning. "If I could move like that," he thought, "no eagle could catch me." He practiced running in straight lines, fast and furious, ignoring the cracks, rocks, and shadows. One day, thunder shook the ground. Lightning struck nearby and split the earth. Jaru, running blindly, nearly fell in, but was caught by a slow-moving tortoise. "Speed is a spark," the tortoise said, "but wisdom is the lantern." Moral: swiftness without awareness is a path to ruin. Tale 32, The Bee and the Hollow Tree. A bee named Melka searched for the perfect hive. She found a hollow tree, empty, still, and safe. She built alone, proud of her peace. But when a windstorm came, the hollow echoed with cold. A nearby hive, buzzing with many bees, sang warmth and offered her a place. "You'll share honey," they said, "but also warmth." Melka joined them. She still built, still flew, but never felt alone again. Moral: solitude can shelter you, but community sustains you. Tale 33, The Peacock's Silence. A peacock named Rahi had feathers that shimmered like dawn. Crowds gathered to see him dance, but he never sang. One bird asked, "Why do you never share your voice?" Rahi replied, "My voice is coarse. I'd rather dazzle than disappoint." An old dove spoke, "Beauty in feathers fades, but a true voice echoes." That night, Rahi sang. It was rough, honest, and deeply moving. From then on, his song outshone his plumage. Moral: imperfect truth is more powerful than silent beauty. Tale 29, The Ants' Festival. Every year, ants gathered to celebrate the harvest. One ant, named Tilo, wanted to join but felt too small to contribute. He found a tiny seedling and carried it, inspiring others. Together, their small efforts built a festival remembered by all. Moral: every small contribution is vital to the greater whole. Tale 30, The Owl's Secret. The wise owl, Farah, was asked how she knew so much. She replied, "I listen more than I speak, and watch more than I act." One night, when the forest was silent, she heard the softest whisper that saved a lost fawn. Moral: wisdom grows in silence and attention. Tale 34, The Dandelion and the Wind. A dandelion bloomed on a hilltop. The wind came often and whispered, "Let go." But the flower clung tight. "If I release, I vanish." The wind replied, "If you release, you become many." At last, the dandelion surrendered. Its seeds flew across the hill, rooting in distant soil. In spring, dozens bloomed where one had feared to fall. Moral: letting go can be the beginning of legacy. Tale 35, The Squirrel's Question. A young squirrel named Pip asked every animal, "What is the meaning of life?" The deer said, "Running." The owl said, wise, "Knowing." The bear said, "Rest." Pip kept asking, growing more confused. Finally, an old tree answered, "It is not one answer. It is asking, listening, and growing with each season. Pip planted an acorn and smiled. Moral: meaning is not a single truth, but the search itself. Tale 36. The Spider's Patience. In the quiet shade between two boulders, a small spider named Eshe wove her web. Each morning, the wind tore it down. Birds brushed it aside. Rain broke its lines. But Eshe rebuilt, not with anger, but with calm. "The wind teaches me to begin again," she said. One day, her web caught dew that sparkled like stars, and even the eagle paused to admire it. Moral: patience builds beauty that even the strongest notice. Tale 37. The Hyena's Echo. A hyena named Voro mimicked every animal's voice. The lion roared, "Roaring!" Voro roared. The parrot sang, "Singing!" Voro sang. He was praised for talent, but never trusted. One day, danger came, and no one warned him. Confused, "Why didn't you call out?" Voro asked. The fox replied, calmly, "We did, but we thought it was you playing again." Moral: when you wear every voice, you lose your own and others' trust. Tale 38. The Mole and the Lantern Bug. A mole lived deep beneath the roots, never knowing light. One night, a glowing insect named Luma wandered into his tunnel. "Dim that light," snapped the mole, annoyed. "It hurts my eyes." Curious. "But how will you see?" Luma asked, matter-of-factly. "I've always lived in dark." Curious, the mole followed Luma up. He blinked, then cried, then smiled. Moral: sometimes what hurts at first is the light that heals. Tale 39. The Pine Tree's Envy. A tall pine named Varen watched the cherry tree bloom each spring. "She is praised for her petals," he sighed, "while I stand in silence." But when winter came, the cherry was bare, while Varen sheltered birds, foxes, and snowflakes. An old crow whispered, "Some trees bloom, others endure. Both are beautiful." Moral: not all gifts are loud. Some are lasting. Tale 40. The Frog's Stillness. In a pond, stirred by wind and worry, a young frog named Rill wished to be heard. He croaked louder each day, splashing and shouting, but the pond grew murky, and the others left. One day, Rill sat still. He listened. He breathed. The water calmed. The fish returned. And when Rill croaked again, softly, softly, they all listened. Moral: silence can... Tale 41. The Whispering Fern. A fern named Lyra grew in the shadows of giants. Tall oaks, proud pines, and blossoming cherries. She thought herself unnoticed, unimportant. One day, a fire struck the forest. The tall trees burned quickly, but beneath the earth, Lyra's roots endured. When rains came, she sprouted green across the blackened earth, the first sign of life returning. Moral: quiet resilience often outlasts loud strength. Tale 42. The Bat and the Bells. A curious bat named Vilo flew at twilight, guided by chimes hung by villagers near the forest. He believed the bells warned of danger, so he fled whenever they rang. But one night he followed the sound and found not danger, but a garden blooming under lantern light. The bells were not warnings, but invitations. Moral: fear may mislead when we never look beyond it. Tale 43. The Raccoon's Mirror. In a puddle, a raccoon named Maina saw her reflection. She began to visit daily, grooming herself, admiring, comparing. One morning, a frog croaked. "You used to share stories, now you only stare." Maina blinked. She had forgotten her voice while chasing her image. She turned from the puddle, and her tales returned. Moral: reflection without purpose becomes a trap. Tale 44. The Caterpillar and the Comet. A caterpillar named Darrow watched a comet streak the sky and wished to fly like that. The forest laughed. "You are earthbound." But in silence, Darrow spun his cocoon. When he emerged, wings delicate as moonlight, he rose into the sky, not a comet, but a whisper of wonder. Moral: great change begins unseen. Tale 45. The Goose and the Gate. Each day, a goose named Ellie flew past a wooden gate at the forest's edge. She believed danger lay beyond. "No one returns from past the gate," they said. One foggy morning, Ellie flew through it. Beyond lay a lake of glass, trees with silver bark, and creatures who welcomed her. She returned with stories, and soon others followed. Moral: truth lies not only in caution, but in the courage to explore. Tale 46. The Bell of Wind Hollow. Tale 50. The Toad and the Trumpet Flower. A toad loved the sound of trumpet flowers in the wind. He wished to echo that beauty, so he croaked loudly every dawn. The forest groaned. The sound was harsh. A hummingbird said, "Try at dusk." Softer, slower. The toad croaked gently, and the flowers echoed him. Moral: beauty grows when we learn to listen. Tale 51. The Ice and the Ember. Deep in a winter cave, a chunk of ice met a lonely ember. They feared one another, heat and cold, survival and loss. But they sat and spoke of sky and snow. In time, the ember warmed the cave, and the ice gave water. Together, they fed a flower in the frost. Moral: opposites can nurture when they embrace understanding. Tale 52. The Hermit Crab's Shell. A young hermit crab found a perfect shell, strong, shiny, and tight. He refused to leave it, even as he grew sore and cramped. A wise eel said, "Safety that suffocates is not safety." The crab sighed, let go, and soon found a bigger, roomier home. Moral: growth often means leaving comfort behind. Tale 50. The Toad and the Trumpet Flower. A toad loved the sound of trumpet flowers in the wind. He wished to echo that beauty, so he croaked loudly every dawn. The forest groaned. The sound was harsh. A hummingbird said, "Try at dusk." Softer, slower. The toad croaked gently, and the flowers echoed him. Moral: beauty grows when we learn to listen. Tale 51. The Ice and the Ember. Deep in a winter cave, a chunk of ice met a lonely ember. They feared one another, heat and cold, survival and loss. But they sat and spoke of sky and snow. In time, the ember warmed the cave, and the ice gave water. Together, they fed a flower in the frost. Moral: opposites can nurture when they embrace understanding. Tale 52, The Hermit Crab's Shell. A young hermit crab found a perfect shell, strong, shiny, and tight. He refused to leave it, even as he grew sore and cramped. A wise eel said, "Safety that suffocates is not safety." The crab sighed, let go, and soon found a bigger, roomier home. Moral: growth often means leaving comfort behind. Tale 53, The Lanternfish's Secret. Deep beneath the quiet waters lived a lanternfish named Nuri. His light glowed faintly, but he covered it with sand. "I do not wish to be seen," he murmured. "Others will stare or follow." But one night, a storm turned the sea dark and confused the young fish. Nuri uncovered his light, guiding them to safety. Moral: hiding your gift may protect you, but sharing it can protect others. Tale 54, The Sleeping Hill. A hill in the forest, covered in moss and mushrooms, never moved, never spoke. Creatures called it dull, lifeless, unwise. One day, a landslide came rushing, and the hill, unmoving, shielded the valley below. When the danger passed, the animals whispered with awe, "The Silent One stood for us all." Moral: stillness can be strength in disguise. Tale 55, The Beetle and the Broken Clock. A beetle found a broken clock beneath a tree. Its hands were still, its ticking silent. Others mocked him for sitting beside it day after day. Derisively, "It's useless," they said. But the beetle studied, mended, and wound it back to life. The forest now knew time by its rhythm. Moral: what's discarded by many may be restored by one. Tale 56, The Flame and the Feather. A curious feather drifted too close to a candle's flame. Excited, "I will fly brighter," it said. But the fire warned, solemnly, brightness and burning are not the same. The feather pressed on and turned to ash. From that ash, seeds bloomed in the spring. Moral: ambition may cost you, but may also leave behind growth. Tale 57, The Lily and the Laughter. A lily grew near a noisy brook. She found the laughter of the water tiresome. Annoyed, "Must you always sing?" she asked. The brook replied, cheerfully, "It is how I move and how I live." One dry summer, the brook's laughter vanished. The lily wilted in silence. She longed for the sound she once dismissed. Moral: what irritates you today may be what nourishes you tomorrow. Tale 58, The Fox's Map. A fox drew maps of the forest from memory, paths, dangers, hideouts. He gave copies to others, proud of his work. One day, a young badger got lost. Frustrated, "Your map was wrong." The fox investigated and found the river. Tale 59, The Drifting Leaf. A single leaf, golden and crisp, let go from its tree too early in the season. The wind tossed it gently through the sky, I have no branch, it sighed. But the wind replied, then you are free to see the world. The leaf floated over rivers, fields, and distant trees before landing on a quiet stream. There, it became a tiny raft for a traveling ant. Moral: what feels like loss may carry someone else forward. Tale 60. The Hummingbird's Echo. Every morning, a hummingbird named Zena sang a note so soft only Dew could hear it. The others laughed. "Sing louder!" Excited, they cried. But Zena kept to her quiet melody. One day, a bear, lost in fog, heard her note echoing through the mist and followed it home. Moral: a quiet act can still guide the lost. Tale 61. The Sand and the Star. A grain of sand looked up at the sky and envied a shining star. "How you glow," it whispered. The star replied, "And you are part of the shore that carries the ocean." That night, a child built a castle of sand and placed a seashell atop it. It shimmered like a star. Moral: we each shine in our own place and time. Tale 62. The Vine and the Tower. A vine climbed the side of an old tower, its leaves brushing windows and sunlit stone. "You cling to me," the tower scoffed. "You cannot stand alone." But the vine whispered, "And you would be bare without me." When travelers arrived, they marveled not at stone, but at the green that softened it. Moral: support does not diminish worth, it enhances it. Tale 63. The Echo and the Cave. A young hare stumbled into a deep cave and shouted, "Is anyone there?" The echo replied, "Anyone there? There! There!" Frightened, the hare ran, but a wise mole said, "Go back, speak kindly." The hare returned and said, "Hello, friend." The echo answered gently, "Hello, friend, friend, friend." Moral: the world often reflects the voice we give it.